The iconic Australian TV series, Home and Away, has captured hearts since 1988 with its emotional characters and gripping storylines. But do you know how the stars of the show have transformed over the years? Take a journey through time and discover what these beloved actors are up to now, from their career milestones to personal triumphs and challenges. Join us as we dive into the fascinating stories behind the scenes and see how they've evolved into the successful, happy, or sometimes tragic figures they are today. Emily Simons, born on August 10, 1969, in Sydney, Australia. She began playing Marilyn Chambers in Home and Away in 1989 when she was just 20 years old. Marilyn is a bubbly, eccentric beautician with a heart of gold and a signature blonde bob. Her romantic ups and downs, including the tragic loss of her son, made her one of the show's most emotionally rich and beloved characters. Emily left and returned to Home and Away several times over the years, and also found success in the UK on the long-running soap Emmerdale. In her personal life, she went through a difficult public divorce and briefly filed for bankruptcy, but she eventually recovered and continued working steadily. In 2025, at 55 years old, Emily Simons is still alive and remains active in the entertainment industry, making appearances on both Australian television and at fan conventions.
Exactly. Yeah, well, I got... Mitzi, I got no reception. I'll call you back.
Flew by, and of course last year the lovely Matthew Wolfenden.
Yes, I know, and you were watching on YouTube to keep up with all the clips.
I was.
Lynn McGranger, born on January 29, 1953, in Paddington, New South Wales, Australia. She joined Home and Away in 1993 as Irene Roberts when she was 40 years old. Irene is a former alcoholic with a troubled past who turned her life around to become a caring foster mother and strong community member. Irene's journey from chaos to compassion resonated with many viewers, and McGranger's portrayal became one of the show's most beloved. Outside of acting, Lynn enjoyed theatre work and was involved in various charity causes. In 2025, at 72 years old, she continues to make occasional guest appearances, now semi-retired and living peacefully in Sydney. Her legacy in Australian television remains significant.
I know that. It's just that with all these changes going on and everything, I just don't think I'm going to fit into this new joint.
What are you saying?
Terrible summer over there.
Yeah, we've had a shocking one. I mean, somebody said to me when I arrived yesterday that they said, "Oh, sorry about our wet rain," and I went...
Ray Meagher, born on July 4th, 1944, in Roma, Queensland, Australia. He began portraying Alf Stewart in Home and Away in 1988 when he was 44 years old. Alf is a gruff but lovable fisherman and store owner, known for his iconic catchphrase, "Stone the flaming crows." As one of the original characters, Alf represents the heart and history of Summer Bay, dependable, old-fashioned and deeply respected. Ray Meagher holds the record for the longest-serving actor in an Australian television drama. Off-screen, he's known for his calm demeanour, theatre work and support of various charities. In 2025, at 80 years old, Meagher is still alive and occasionally appears on the show in a recurring capacity. He remains a national treasure in Australian television history.
What else? You nicked it. Don't tell me you didn't. I know you too well, Fred Shrimpton.
So I nicked it. So what? We're running a bit low. Need a bit to tide us over. It'll be next looking flaming. Oh, stone. Flaming. Oh, bloke must be off his flaming. Oh, stone. You know. Anyway, as a kid, I found it very amusing and it stayed with me for life, so Alf Stewart stole that.
Ada Nicodemu, born on May 14th, 1977 in Sydney, Australia. She began portraying Leah Patterson in Home and Away in 2000, when she was 23 years old. Leah is a warm-hearted and resilient single mother who works as a diner co-owner in Summer Bay. Her character endured loss, love and family turmoil, becoming a symbol of inner strength and compassion. Ada quickly became one of the show's most recognisable faces. Off-screen, she experienced deep personal sorrow following the stillbirth of her second son in 2014, but she continued to act and engage in charity work for children's hospitals. In 2025, at 47 years old, she remains a beloved figure in Australian entertainment, occasionally appearing on talk shows and mentoring young actors.
I don't mean to be rude, I'm just not really in the mood for entertaining, so...
No, nor am I.
Rachel says she can make...
Well, you know what? I've actually got a better idea, and I think it's a lot better than spending time in a shrimp...
type, again, because of the outfits. Food? I've taken a lot of food from set. I eat a lot of food on set. I'm so excited, and I just can't...
Shane Withington, born on August 22nd, 1958, in Toowoomba, Queensland, Australia. He joined Home and Away in 2009 as John Palmer when he was 51 years old. John is a layered character. Introduced as a strict and often abrasive surf lifesaver, he gradually evolved into a more comedic, compassionate, and integral member of the Summer Bay community. Shane's strong background in both drama and comedy brought nuance and humanity to the role. Outside of the show, he is known for his long-lasting marriage to fellow actress Anne Tenney and his passion for environmental conservation. In 2025, at 66 years old, Shane Withington is still alive and continues to portray John Palmer, making him one of the show's longest-running cast members. He remains a respected figure in Australian television.
Can I have something? Maybe?
I think that'd be all right, don't you think, Jed?
Yeah.
And I died. And I was downstairs going, damn.
Stephen Peacock, born on October 30th, 1981, in Dubbo, New South Wales, Australia. He began portraying Daryl Braxton in Home and Away in 2011, when he was 30 years old. Brax is the charismatic and brooding leader of the River Boys, a local surf gang with a complicated code of loyalty. His intense love for his family and vulnerable side, underneath his tough exterior, made him one of the show's most popular characters. Stephen won multiple awards for the role, and later transitioned into film and international television, appearing in projects such as Hercules and Me Before You. In 2025, at 43 years old, Stephen Peacock is still alive and working steadily in both Australian and international productions. Admired for his versatility and grounded personality.
Seems like such an uptight way to relax.
Right.
I'm sorry to have stopped it, I just thought we were mates now. And I know you're not crazy about Casey and Ruby.
We'll get to that in a minute. What can we expect from season 2?
I think we've just gone bigger and better. Even, the first season was extraordinary.
Kate Richie, born on August 14th, 1978 in Goulburn, New South Wales, Australia. She began portraying Sally Fletcher in Home and Away in 1988 when she was just 10 years old. Sally is a kind-hearted and sensitive girl who grows up in Summer Bay, facing tragedy, love and growth over her 2-decade journey on the show. Kate's portrayal of Sally became iconic, with viewers watching her grow from child to adult. After leaving the show in 2008, Kate transitioned into radio and television presenting, becoming a household name in Australia. In 2025, at 46 years old, Kate Richie is still alive, working in media and raising her daughter. She remains a cherished figure in Australian pop culture.
What's your opinion, Lucas?
All right, everybody, you can go for homework, though. I want you to read the poem
Really obvious when it was time to move on, and that was a really big decision because it was just so frightening. Like, what do I actually do?
Georgie Parker, born on December 16th, 1964, in Sydney, Australia. She began portraying Rue Stewart in Home and Away in 2010 at the age of 46. Rue, originally played by Justine Clark in the 1980s, returned to Summer Bay as a more mature, nurturing woman seeking redemption and reconnection with her father, Alf Stewart. Georgie's portrayal gave new depth to the character, emphasising growth, reconciliation, and the strength of family bonds. Outside of the show, Parker is also known for her work on stage and her advocacy for scoliosis awareness, a condition she lives with. In 2025, at 60 years old, Georgie continues to act and write, balancing her time between performance and health activism.
Oh, what a pleasant surprise. Don't pretend you're surprised to see me, Susan. You used me to manipulate Simon Jordan. You led him to believe that I had breached his confidentiality.
Tonight, Will, it's a breathtaking journey. So I'm just going to start off by asking you, who is Bud? Tell us about Dorothy Elms.
Deborah Lawrence, born on January 1st, 1957 in Melbourne, Australia. She began portraying Pippa Ross in Home and Away in 1990 at the age of 33, taking over the role from Vanessa Downing. Pippa is a nurturing and steadfast foster mother, known for her boundless compassion and patience. Her home served as a sanctuary for troubled children in Summer Bay, and Deborah's portrayal brought warmth and quiet strength to the role. Outside of Home and Away, she built a strong theatre career and appeared in several Australian series. In 2025, at 68 years old, Deborah Lawrence is still alive, semi-retired, and active in theatre and acting mentorship. She is married to actor Dennis Cord, who also appeared on the show as Pippa's husband, Michael.
You copied, didn't I?
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Felicity.
Pat.
No, sorry, I was wondering whether I should call the lovely Felicity.
It's always nerve-wracking being nominated. Oh, I sound like an old hand, don't I? But yeah, it's a bit, I didn't sleep very much last night, but this is just great to see everybody.
Absolutely.
Jodie Gordon, born on February 1st, 1985, in Mackay, Queensland, Australia. She began portraying Martha Mackenzie in Home and Away in 2005, when she was 20 years old. Martha, the granddaughter of Alf Stewart, is a spirited and complicated character, known for her tumultuous romance with Jack Holden and struggles with alcoholism and breast cancer. Jodie's performance brought vulnerability and strength to the screen, earning her awards and critical praise. Off-screen, Jodie's life included high-profile relationships and personal struggles, including a battle with addiction which she openly discussed in the media. In 2025, at 40 years old, Jodie Gordon is still alive, sober, and focused on acting, modelling, and wellness advocacy. She continues to speak out about recovery and women's empowerment.
Oh.
Sorry, I thought you were outside.
No,
Typical.
See what people think of Ellie. I know it's going to be a little bit of a shock, but yeah, she's quite an interesting character, especially the first episode. It's quite full-on, jam-packed.
Melissa George, born on August 6th, 1976 in Perth, Western Australia. She began portraying Angel Brooks in Home and Away in 1993, when she was 17 years old. Angel is a rebellious teen with a tragic past who finds hope and love in Summer Bay, particularly in her romance with Shane Parrish, a love story that captivated audiences. Melissa quickly became a household name and later moved to Hollywood, starring in TV series such as Alias, The Good Wife, and Grey's Anatomy. Her personal life included a high-profile and turbulent custody battle in France, which made international headlines. In 2025, at 48 years old, Melissa George is still alive, living in Europe, continuing her acting career in independent film and streaming series while focusing on raising her children privately.
Get into the character immediately. There's no question about it. You get off on it, and I love it. And when I turned around and saw these vampires in their clothing, I couldn't believe the movie we were making. It was so...
Lincoln Yunis, born on January 31st, 1992, in Sydney, Australia. He began portraying Casey Braxton in Home and Away in 2011, when he was 19 years old. Casey is the youngest of the Braxton brothers, more sensitive and morally conflicted than his older siblings. His journey from troubled teen to heroic young man captured viewers' hearts. Casey's death on the show marked one of the most emotional moments in its history. After Home and Away, Lincoln appeared in several Australian dramas, including Love Child and Grand Hotel in the US. In real life, Lincoln Yunis is still alive in 2025 at the age of 33, continuing his career in both Australian and international film and television. He is also active in refugee and youth outreach programs, drawing on his Lebanese-Australian heritage for inspiration.
Are you kidding me? We're delivery guys. Everyone loves us.
Nah, they love the pizza.
Same thing. In my first week, I made $15 in tips.
Oh, Eva Longoria. I did a show called Grand Hotel where she was my boss. So that was quite fun. I changed the past.
Penny McName, born on March 17th, 1983, in Sydney, Australia. She began portraying Dr. Tori Morgan in Home and Away in 2016, when she was 33 years old. Tori is a dedicated and compassionate doctor who arrives in Summer Bay with a mysterious past. Over time, she becomes central to many storylines involving love, fertility struggles, and family secrets. Penny's performance was praised for its emotional range and authenticity. Outside the show, she is a devoted mother of two and has worked in musical theatre and on various Australian drama series. In 2025, at 42 years old, Penny McName is still alive, working in both acting and voiceover, and actively supporting women's health charities across Australia.
Gorgeous! This was a lockdown project.
So what was it like before?
It was very overgrown. It had a lot of tropical plants in it.
Oh, okay.
So we divorcees.
Yes.
And
they live in an apartment together
They
in
live
New
in-
York City. They're British, but have obviously immigrated to New York.
Exactly.
And they are just looking for a good time.
That's it.
I don't think they're
Todd Lasance, born on February 18th, 1985 in Newcastle, New South Wales, Australia. He began portraying Aidan Jeffries in Home and Away in 2005 when he was 20 years old. Aidan started as a troubled and aggressive teen with a traumatic past, but he evolved into one of the show's most complex and redeemed characters. Todd's powerful performance earned him critical acclaim and a loyal fan base. After leaving Home and Away, he moved into international work, appearing in Spartacus, The Vampire Diaries, and Without Remorse. In 2025, at 40 years old, Todd Lasance is still alive and continues to act in action dramas and thrillers. He's married with children and also runs a production company focused on creating content for streaming platforms.
I can't believe what I just heard. What, everything's okay? Leah's going to be back soon?
Okay, I exaggerated, but
To grow sort of an attempt at a beard, but my facial hair doesn't really grow that well. So it took me about 5 months, and even then, my first day, they came in.
Bernard Curry, born on March 27th, 1974, in Melbourne, Australia. He began portraying Hugo Austin in Home and Away in 2009, when he was 35 years old. Hugo is a mysterious and complex character involved in human trafficking and covert activities, which led to one of the show's darker and more suspenseful storylines. Bernard's brooding charisma made the morally grey character both compelling and controversial. After Home and Away, Bernard found success with roles in Wentworth, Neighbours, and international series like Pretty Little Liars. In 2025, at 51 years old, Bernard Curry is still alive and continues acting in television and film. He lives in Melbourne with his wife and children and is also an accomplished musician.
You know, the two of us.
well, that would be unprofessional.
I wasn't meaning like a date.
Yeah, I have more respect. Yeah, but I know. I think Ferguson. I think definitely Ferguson for Jake. The kind of
Matt Doran, born on March 30th, 1976, in Sydney, Australia. He began portraying Damien Roberts in Home and Away in 1991, when he was 15 years old. Damien is a shy and troubled teen who gradually finds stability in Summer Bay through foster care and friendships. His character dealt with themes of domestic abuse and adolescent growth, and Matt's sensitive portrayal earned praise during the early 90s. After leaving the show in 1996, Matt went on to have a career in film and television, including a notable role as Mouse in The Matrix, 1999, and a minor part in Star Wars, Attack of the Clones, 2002. In 2025, at 49 years old, Matt Doran is still alive, living in Sydney and working in indie film and directing, occasionally appearing at sci-fi fan conventions.
And our safest way is to avoid the aim. There's daggers in men's smiles. They're nearer in blood, they're nearer bloody. So let us not be dainty of leave.
You know, she's reformed now. She's doing a lot better now. Apparently, she's got all these other kids. I don't, you know, doesn't look after her own kids, but apparently that's what's going on. I don't know.
But much cooler.
Paul O'Brien, born on April 14th, 1978 in South Africa, raised in Australia. He began portraying Jack Holden in Home and Away in 2005 when he was 27 years old. Jack is a loyal and brave police officer, known for his dramatic romance with Martha Mackenzie. Their on and off relationship, as well as Jack's tragic death in the series, left a lasting emotional impact on viewers. Paul won a Logie Award for his performance and became a fan favourite. After leaving the show, he pursued roles in Australian dramas and also worked in the US. In 2025, at 47 years old, Paul O'Brien is still alive and continues to act and mentor young performers. He lives quietly on the Gold Coast and enjoys surfing and writing.
He's not the only one. Did you talk to Martha?
I did.
How'd she take it?
She's
not even a friend of yours for $20. He's never gonna bother you again. He's never gonna ask you for money again. He's out of your life for $20. Forget about it.
Rhys Wakefield, born on November 20th, 1988, in Cairns, Queensland, Australia. He began portraying Lucas Holden in Home and Away in 2005, when he was 17 years old. Lucas is the artistic and sensitive son of Tony Holden, navigating grief and teenage rebellion. Rhys's performance brought emotional complexity to the role and earned him a nomination for a Logie Award. After leaving the series in 2008, Rhys transitioned to film, starring in The Black Balloon and the US thriller The Purge. He also moved into writing and directing, including work on the acclaimed sci-fi series Reprisal. In 2025, at 36 years old, Rhys Wakefield is still alive, based in Los Angeles, working as an actor, writer and director on streaming platforms and film.
For one single day. Everything always has to be about you and how you feel.
No, I didn't mean to pressure you.
Yeah, you never mean to pressure me, but that's what you're doing. You, your mum, dad, everyone.
A couple of weeks ago now, which was pretty exciting to see with the live audience. That was my first time seeing it. So the premiere was a really great celebration. A victory lap, indeed, where we're...
Luke Jacobs, born on February 14th, 1981, in Sydney, Australia. He joined Home and Away in 2008 as Angelo Rosetta when he was 27 years old. Angelo is a police officer whose storyline was filled with moral conflict, betrayal and redemption, especially after accidentally shooting a fellow officer. Luke's strong performance added complexity to a divisive character. Prior to Home and Away, he was known from Heartbreak High, and after the soap, he transitioned into hosting roles, including The X Factor Australia. In 2025, at 44 years old, Luke Jacobs is still alive, balancing acting with television presenting and occasionally returning to Home and Away for guest appearances. He is also active in mental health advocacy after speaking publicly about his personal struggles.
On your face, you either need to go to the toilet or you want to say something.
Yeah, don't pass up that job because of me.
Ryan Clark, born on April 9th, 1983, in Sydney, Australia. He joined Home and Away in 1991 as Sam Marshall when he was just 9 years old. Sam is a foster child taken in by Michael and Pippa Ross, known for his cheeky charm and troubled past. Ryan remained on the show until 2001, growing up in front of the camera. After leaving acting, he made a surprising career shift and became a professional lifeguard at Bondi Beach, later appearing in the reality series Bondi Rescue. In 2025, at 42 years old, Ryan Clark is still alive, continuing to work as a real-life lifeguard and public safety advocate. He occasionally makes nostalgic appearances in TV specials and fan events.
Why? Because when you be mad at me. Why should I be mad at you?
Christy Hayes, born on October 31st, 1986, in Sydney, Australia. She began portraying Kirsty Sutherland in Home and Away in 2000, when she was just 14 years old. Kirsty is part of the Sutherland family, a passionate, strong-willed teenager who frequently found herself in forbidden romances and family turmoil. Christy's natural charisma and depth made Kirsty one of the show's standout young characters. She remained with the show on and off until 2009. After Home and Away, Christy pursued theatre and radio hosting while balancing motherhood. In 2025, at 38 years old, Christy Hayes is still alive, working as a presenter and mental health advocate, while raising her 2 sons and occasionally returning to acting.
Pretty cool. We're so lucky he's gorgeous.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yes, well, every girl I know would kill to be in your place.
Oh, I better not gloat then.
No, gloat as much as you like, I would.
Sam Frost, born on April 4th, 1989, in Melbourne, Australia. She began portraying Jasmine Delaney in Home and Away in 2017, when she was 28 years old. Jasmine is a nurse with a tragic past, arriving in Summer Bay carrying emotional baggage, yet striving to heal and find love. Her character tackled themes such as grief, infertility, and emotional trauma, and Sam's portrayal was praised for its authenticity and emotional depth. Before acting, Sam gained fame as a contestant on The Bachelor Australia and later starred in The Bachelorette. After leaving Home and Away, she wrote a mental health memoir and founded a platform promoting mental wellness for young women. In 2025, at 36 years old, Sam Frost is still alive, engaged in writing, public speaking, and raising her young son, born in 2023.
A little bit too far, or I am being ridiculous for far too long. And he's like, Sam, he's like, babe, come on, like, we're in public. And I'm like,
who is your favourite character from Home and Away? How do you feel knowing that some cast members are no longer with us? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated. We appreciate your support and are glad to have you as part of our community.